The chief's house contains edicts that can be activated, giving your town different boosts, such as Urgent Mobilization, Rush Job, Comprehensive Care, Double Time, Productivity Day, and Festivities. Each edict costs a certain amount of contentment points. These points are earned when your survivor is working, eating, and resting, or you can also buy it with diamonds. Before knowing about each edict in the chief's house, you also need to know and pay attention to the status of the survivors. Because by knowing this, you can know what edict you will use first. The first thing you have to know about survivor status is that you have to be able to ensure that each survivor is at their respective workstation. You check this so that each occupied workstation can produce maximum resource output. And from here, you can also find out how big your survivor population is, and whether any of your survivors are sick or resting. And secondly, you also have to know your survivor details, where you have to know their physical and mental health conditions. To care for the physical health of survivors, you need to keep the temperature of your city warm and comfortable for survivors. Then you also have to give this survivor the best type of food, namely fancy meal. And you also have to give these survivors enough rest time. Meanwhile, to maintain the mental health or happiness of these survivors, you need to upgrade the shelter and provide them with sufficient comfort. You need to check and monitor the status of these survivors well and regularly, so that the level of survivor satisfaction in the suggestion box is high, and you can get good rewards every day. And before we know how to use each edict correctly, let's listen to a brief explanation of each edict. The first edict is Urgent Mobilization. This edict makes your survivors work for 48 hours in survivor time. While increasing wood, coal, iron, and food production, it also drops each survivor's mood by 10 points. It has a cooldown time of 8 hours real time, and requires 50,000 contentment points to activate. And the second edict is Rush Job. This edict will give you 5 days in survivor time worth of resources automatically. This is a good one to use for a quick increase in resource supply. It has a cooldown time of 1 day in real time, and you need 150,000 contentment points to activate. And the third edict is Comprehensive Care. This edict immediately heals all 6 survivors, and has a cooldown time of 4 hours in real time. And you need 150,000 contentment points to activate. And the fourth edict is Double Time. This edict increases new building construction and upgrades by 20%. There is a 5-minute in real-time window, in which you must start your construction or upgrading to obtain the 20% bonus. This bonus does not expire once the 5 minutes are up, and will continue until your construction is complete. It has a cooldown time of 1 day in real time. And you need 800,000 contentment points to activate. And the fifth edict is Productivity Day. This edict increases productivity to 100% across all workstations for 24 hours in survivor time. It also decreases mood by 10 for each survivor. This edict has a cooldown time of 12 hours in real time. And you need 50,000 contentment points to activate. Simply put, this edict increases the performance of each survivor at each workstation, so that resource output can be doubled. And the sixth edict is Festivities. This edict gives survivors plus 50 to mood and plus 30 to comfort for 1 day in survivor time. This edict has a cooldown time of 1 day in real time. And you need 50,000 contentment points to activate. In short, this edict is like giving your survivors a day off. And after you know the function of each edict, now I will show you tips on how to maximize the use of each edict. The first tip is, use 3 production edicts, namely Urgent Mobilization, Productivity Day, and finally Rush Job in sequence, then activate the Festivities edict afterwards. You do this so that the output of resources that you can get doubles, and you can get these resources in a short time. Then after the Urgent Mobilization ends, you can activate the Festivities edict in order to improve the mood and comfort of your survivors, as well as to avoid a riot occurred. Second tip, use the Double Time edict correctly. Maybe some new players are confused about how to use the Double Time edict, just like I felt before. However, using Double Time correctly is by activating it first, then after that players can continue upgrading buildings. Indeed, if the waiting time for the upgrade is still a matter of hours, then the bonus will not be very noticeable. However, if you have entered Furnace Fire Crystal, then you will really feel the benefits of a time discount from using this Double Time edict. The third tip, know when to use Comprehensive Care. You could say, comprehensive care is one of the edicts that I think is rarely used. However, this edict must have been used by 1 or 2 players who were new to playing, because they did not take good care of their survivors. However, if there is an emergency where half of the survivor population falls ill, then you can use this edict to cure the survivors instantly. In conclusion, by knowing how to use each edict in the chief's house in the right way, you can get bonus buffs that can help you quickly develop your city in a better direction. Honestly, during my time using the Edict Chief's house, I almost never experienced a situation of lack of resources or stalled development. So you could say, if you can apply each of the stages that I have shared previously, I can guarantee that you will also be able to develop your city to a higher level in no time. And if you find this video useful, don't forget to like and share this with other players, so that more players know how to use edicts in Chief's house correctly. And we will meet again in the next Whiteout survival video. Bye.